Well, as the financial meltdown and the credit crisis spreads around the world, it's hard to know exactly how it will hit Canadians. The housing market is likely going to be one of the first places that will feel the effects, and people trying to get mortgages will notice there's a bit of a credit chill. Joining me now is Ranjit Dhaliwal. He is a mortgage broker in Toronto. And Ranjit, thanks for joining us. I know this has really caught a lot of people by surprise. How would you describe the mortgage market in Canada right now?
Well, it's nice to be here, Harry, first of all. And there's been a lot of changes over the last 10 days or so in the market, and especially this week. We started seeing some of the main banks last week started to raise their prime lending rates. And this is away from their normal practice of moving the prime rate up and down with the bank rate. And then we saw this week the Bank of Canada lowered its overnight rate by 0.5%. And then the banks again did not follow suit. They only reduced it by a quarter point. Now we hear that today some of them are starting to match that. And then the prime rate, what the clients used to get for a variable rate mortgage was something like prime minus 75, prime minus 85, 90, even prime minus 1. Whereas this week, majority of the banks have gone to prime plus 1. So that's, they're basically charging almost 2% more from the same client that they would have maybe about a month ago. They would have charged about 1.75 or 2 points less. Now, what's happening with this is anybody new that's taken on a mortgage, it's increasing the average monthly payment of, let's say, a $250,000 mortgage by as much as $325. So it's definitely tightening there.
Hitting people right in the pocketbook, right?
Absolutely. And then the other thing that you're seeing is that some of the subprime lenders that basically lent purely based on equity, they used to be able to go up to 85, 90% of the value of a person's home, whereas nowadays they've scaled back to as low as 65%. So anybody who's in a subprime type of a situation where their credit is impaired and they need to do a refinance, or they need to take some money out to pay off some debts, or cover their margin calls or something like that, they're having a much more difficult time getting the funding that is needed.
No kidding. So, and as you talk to people who are coming to you looking for mortgages, what are you telling them to do right now?
Well, we're trying to, for many people who want, let's say, a variable rate mortgage, we are trying to get them to take on something that is either a shorter term mortgage. Let's see if this crisis passes. Hopefully it'll pass soon. And then we can put them into more permanent type of mortgages. But in the meantime, a lot of people who may have debt, we're telling them to watch their credit utilization ratios, which can actually reduce your credit score. And then the banks will use that as an excuse to charge higher rates as well.
Sure. So pay off your debt and don't, whatever you do, miss a payment on anything.
Absolutely. And then the other key thing, Harry, there is you got to keep the credit utilization low. Now, your credit score starts to drop once you start using more than 30% of your credit limit. Yeah. And once you go more than 70%, it comes down even more.
Now, it used to be when folks wanted a mortgage, they went right to their bank, not to a mortgage broker. Your business really took off in the last 10 years. Are you feeling the impact of this? Are you losing business because of this?
Well, certainly it's affected the entire industry. We're seeing that a lot of the realtors that we're working with, any of the purchasers that they're working with, they're sort of saying, hey, hang on a second, I don't know if I really want to go through with this. I want to see what happens. So purchases are definitely down. But in terms of comparing us to the banks, no. Our business has actually done very well compared to the banking side. Our market share has been continuously going up because more and more people are finding out that a mortgage broker can essentially shop the entire marketplace and get you the best possible deal.
Did you see any of this coming, Ranjit?
No, it's hard to say that we saw any of this stuff coming at all. I mean, it's happened so fast.
Did you have any inkling as you looked at what was happening in the housing market? Did you think to yourself, this is getting crazy here, something's going to happen?
Yeah, one of the things that we saw, especially for investors, it was very difficult to find properties that were reasonably priced in order to get a return enough to be able to cover all their mortgage payments, their taxes, vacancy, management, and maintenance. And they weren't getting it, so you saw some investors go into the market marketplace, even they were buying properties even though they had to put maybe $200, $300 into to cover the payments on a monthly basis, but the prices were going up, so they didn't mind at the time. And whereas now, if the prices are going flatline or if they start to go downwards, then how long are these people going to continue to inject that extra money on a monthly basis?
Hard times for people that bought more house than they need. What advice would you give to homeowners with mortgages now, especially to people who have variable mortgages? Are they in any more trouble now than they were a few weeks ago? Well,
no, a majority of the people are not, because they're probably going to be in a better situation, because their mortgages, let's say at a prime minus 90, you're looking at prime rate being 4 1/4, so you're looking at 3.35% variable rate mortgage for those people that have got a prime minus 90 or even a prime minus 75. They're looking at 3.50 is the interest rate, so it's actually really good for them. Right now we're not seeing any major trends on the fixed rates that they're starting to go up, although this week we did see the fixed rates go up by as much as 0.5 percentage points. And so if they're looking to, that's the only thing that they're going to have an issue with, is if they want to go ahead and lock into a fixed rate, they're going to be paying a lot more than what they're paying on the variable rate. So you're going to see a lot of people probably stick with variable, but we don't know when inflation's going to creep and then start pushing the fixed rates up. That might be a little bit scary.
So keep an eye on the economy, and when you see things start to turn and move up, you might want to lock in then.
Absolutely.
All right, Ranjit, good talking to you. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Ranjit Dhaliwal is a mortgage broker in Toronto. Well, we have more news ahead for you on CBC News today, so don't go away. We'll be right back.
A royal marriage doomed from the start.
She was very, very unhappy. She started to drink too much.
More than 3 decades later, the dirty little secrets revealed.
He had a roving eye.
Snowden and Margaret, Secrets of a Royal Marriage, Sunday at 10 on CBC Newsworld. What do young Canadians have to say about the election?
Your voice makes a difference. It's a great way to ensure democracy exists.
For exclusive results of student vote, log on to cbcnews.ca/Canada Votes after the polls close on October 14th.
All right, international shipping. Well, let's say you have your product ready to ship to your customers around the world.
Necesito mi paquete por la mañana.
Early
morning, please.
I'm not Matar.
Wow, sounds like they all want their shipments at different times. Okay, if you ship with UPS, you can get your product to them exactly when they want it.
Gracias.
It's not international shipping, it's international shipping options with UPS.
Perfecto, exactamente.
I think they're happy.
Thank you. Gracias.
Kellogg's Guardian cereal with psyllium fiber. New cinnamon flavor. Keep your heart happy.
The world relies on agriculture to survive. Tight margins in crop production exhaust the soil and eventually harvest potential. Fertilizers play an important role in grain yield and quality. Potash increases root growth, improves drought resistance, and slows the onset of crop disease. Sustainability, protection, growth. Potash. Feed the earth.
This cold season, look for the Vicks Shield. No matter what symptoms you might get, the Vicks family of products has got you covered. For comfort and care, Vicks is always there.
Election 08. Speak up. We'll listen. It's interactive TV on all platforms. You pick the issues that matter most to you. Canada Votes, your turn with Suhana Marchand. Tonight at 8 Eastern on CBC Newsworld.